It's Bree, and I have a story for you. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new here, go ahead and click that red button and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this story, you guys are going to want to see Bree all the time, every time I upload. I was up like late at night watching fight videos, and it's like I'm the kind of person where it's like I can't just watch one fight video. Like if I'm scrolling on Twitter and somebody posts a fight video, I'm gonna watch that video, I'm gonna go to the source of that video, and I'm gonna be on that profile watching all the fights. I literally love watching them, and it's so weird, but I met so many people who also love watching them, so it's not that weird. Whatever. I watched so many fight videos that I got the idea that I wanted to watch other people talk about fights that they got in. Because obviously I ended up on YouTube. Like I started off on Twitter, and then I ended up on YouTube watching fight compilations. And then I was like, I want to see some girls tell some stories about fights they got in. It was so crazy listening to people actually tell the stories, and they're like, my fight with footage, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, I want to see the footage, I want to see. So I would click, and they're getting beat up. Like that shit was so funny to me, and I was like, you know what, I want to tell my story. Because even when I watch fight videos, I know that the fights are for like no reason, and it was just like hearing the story times, hearing how these fights start was like a full circle moment. It was like, oh my god, like I'm always right. That's not why we're here. We're here because I want to tell you guys about the first fight that I ever got in, because I really think it's a funny story, and it's one of those stories that like I will never forget. It's that funny. Like it's that funny. So I just want to tell y'all about my first fight. Middle school was like the worst time of my life, bitch. Like it was like the worst time of my life. I was depressed, and I had no control. Like at least when I was in high school, like I was a little more rebellious. I had a little more control because, you know, I rode the school bus and stuff like that. But like in middle school, like I lived in a totalitarian society, you know what I'm saying? I damn near lived in like North Korea. That's what it felt like going home. So I was like depressed, and I was very sheltered. I got bullied, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like a weird kid because I didn't really get interaction with other kids, and when I interacted with them, I had weird interests. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just all bad. My grandma, she didn't really like take care of how I looked. So like on my first day of school, I was dusty. Like I was so easy to make fun of because nobody really looked out. Like nobody got my hair done. Nobody made sure like that I had like fits. Like I had clothes, but that's what they were. They were clothes. Like I wasn't in like fresh ass Air Force Ones. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rocking like, girl, I was wearing Ross. That's what I was wearing. And so I was like an easy target. I was like a really easy target. And you know, it's crazy because even though I would be so easy to roast, and I did get roasted, I was still popular. Like I don't really meet other people like that. I don't meet a lot of people who like got savagely bullied and like publicly humiliated, but they were still popular. Like I don't know how God does what he does, but he did it with me. He did that. There were these two girls that I was like frenemies with, and I mean like we were frenemies before I even really knew the word for it. Like I knew that I had to be these girls' friends, but I hated the shit out of them. Like I hated them so much. Like I'm talking about, bro, I would pray to God that they would not go to school, and those bitches would be there every day. We gotta give them fake names right now. Okay, so one girl we're gonna call Lynn, and the other girl we're gonna call Luna. So Lynn and Luna were like the ISIS of my middle school life. Like they was like just ISIS. these bitches would take turns. Like, they would really take turns. They would torment me. Like, Lynn would get the first half of the day and Luna would get the second half of the day. It would be like random situations where, like, okay, we're at lunch and I think I'm about to go eat with my homegirls and they don't like me. They don't want me to eat with them. So I gotta go eat with like my secondary group of friends. That shit built character. Like, that bullying really built character because I had to learn how to like talk to all kind of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to really like learn how to get along with everybody. So thank you, bitches, for teaching me how to be a better me, teaching me how to thrive and survive, because it's like survival of the fittest out here for real. But the girl Lynn, she was like our ringleader, bro. Like, she was like Regina George. It hurts me to admit that I was Katie and she was like Regina George, because she would be the girl that would be like, oh, let's call Brianna. Let's see how she feels about boom, 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 boom. Everybody knows I talk too much. I mean, I have a YouTube channel. They would call me on the phone and I would be honest. I've always been like just honest. Like, I don't know, especially if I thought you was my friend, I'm gonna talk shit with you. So they set me up a few times. A few times they would set me up. And you know, like the other girl, she would be on mute. She would know what I said. After that happening to me a certain amount of times, I kind of like caught on. And when they would call me, I would be like, oh, I can't talk. Oh, you know, like I would literally like, I'm sick. Like, I would just try to get out of that situation because I knew what they were up to. And it was actually like, sometimes it would be 4 girls. Like, they was doing like advanced technology. Like, why? Another reason why Lynn was like the Regina George was because this bitch would get everything that I wanted. Like, any new phone that came out that I would beg my auntie for, I would beg my family, like, please, I need this, I need this, I need this. This bitch would get it. The kind of shit that I would get to flex would be stuff that I would see in Teen Vogue. But I was like the only kid reading Teen Vogue. So I only had like 1 friend or like 2 friends that really knew how hard I was flexing with the designer. You know what I'm saying? But like, Lynn, she had all the shit that like all the cool kids was wearing, and she was getting it like when it drops, like no questions asked. This bitch was like my mortal enemy. Like, she bullied me. She was in control of like my social status. She had all the material shit that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, oh my God, like I just would feel like, how do I rebel against this girl? Because like the way my personality is set up, like I am going to rebel. I have to do what I want to do eventually. Like, I do not care. And I will really plot on this bitch. Like, first of all, it sucked because I couldn't be on the phone like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have like a tight ass cell phone. So I wasn't even really on social media like that. So I couldn't like embarrass her in a way that like she embarrassed me. You know what I'm saying? But like, I would do little stuff where like I would dedicate my profile page to hating these bitches. Like, I would literally transform my entire profile to like, I hate Luna. I would make like stupid ass meme pictures, like putting their head on top of like, oh my God, like I was like really weird. I was really weird. But just know that I would like dedicate my pages to hating these bitches. Like, a hate page run by me, because you guys are tormenting me to that extent. Their boyfriends tormented me. The girls from like the B groups and the C groups, like the girls who wanted to hang out with us would like, they would bully me too. Like, any opportunity that they could, you know, jump in and take my spot, they would do that. And I don't even know why. Like, bitch, I'm gonna come back. I'm Brianna Lay. I'm gonna come back. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was so stupid. That's why I wanted to film this story time, because I'm like, this shit was so dumb, but like, that's what it was. We were all smart. That's how we even had classes together. Like, it'd be different if like I was in like the lower level class, but like all of us was in like the highest ranked, smartest class. So that's why we had to be friends to a certain extent. But at the same time, it sucked because I feel like even the teachers was in on it. Like, the teachers would let Lynn and Luna get away with shit. And if I turned around and asked for a pencil, or if I was late to class because I had to go to the bathroom, I had to go to the principal. I had to go to the dean. Like, do you see what these other girls are doing? So now that you guys know the backstory, this fight took place on like a random day. This was one of those days where it was like, we were studying for a pre-test. We was going over the same 4 chapters before we entered another chapter. So it was kind of one of those days that we just didn't even really care about. Like, I read this. So Lynn's across the class. She's talking mess. And here's the thing. Luna wasn't even in class with her that day. She was talking mess about me to one of the girls from, like, you know, the B group or the C group, like one of those lower ranking females. She was talking mess about me too. And it was just agitating my poor little, you know, young ego. Like, I couldn't take it. Like, if you're gonna talk shit about me to somebody that's at least in our circle, somebody that's at least on my level, like, I was just feeling some type of way. Me being Brianna, I gotta say little stuff back. Like, I got the headphones in, like, me and my best friend, you know, we got one headphone in, but I'm like talking mess back. I'm like saying little stuff back under my breath. And he's just ignoring me because it's like he's a boy. So he was just like ignoring me. But I was like, yeah, but you wasn't saying that yesterday when I was in your face. You wasn't saying that yesterday when I was in your face. Like, bitch. The situation was kind of getting out of control. Like, we was just getting louder and louder. Like, we were basically having a full-on argument across the room, but not looking at each other. Yeah. It's funny, right? So the teacher's like,
Brianna, come onto the board. Write this out since you know so much, since you have so much to say.
You know, like, stupid stuff that teachers say when they try to embarrass you, but it's like, nobody's listening to you. Everybody's listening to me. I'm running the classroom right now, bitch. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I actually did know. I was bad, but I was smart. You feel me? So I'm like, whatever. So I go up there. Now, I was dusty, bro. I was dusty. I was like a dusty little kid. And I remember around this time, I had got my first bra. One of the reasons why I distinctly remember this day is because I went to Walmart. You know that story time where I told you guys I stole from Walmart? I went to Walmart and bought my first bra because my grandma wouldn't buy it. So that was like my only bra. I took pride in it. The way the classroom was set up, it was like in a U. So she was like sitting over here and the board was right here. That's why I remember it too. So I'm at the board, you know, I'm standing up. And Lynn takes the opportunity to go in on how dusty I look. And I'm at the board, I'm hearing this, and I'm like, I'm about to blow. Now, I remember this fight because this was like one of the first times where I truly felt like I could not control myself. Like, I already had a lot of stuff that was going on with me emotionally. I wanted to beat a bitch ass at any moment. Like, I was always walking around ready to beat somebody up. And it was like I was always constantly fighting that urge. Like, I'm making it seem like I was like the Incredible Hulk when I was in middle school. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I was. I remember she was going in and I couldn't even write on the board anymore. I had just turned around and I was just staring at her. Like, I was really just looking at her, watching her dead in the face talk smack about me. Like, I was just taking it all in like a sponge. No reaction. I remember I wasn't even thinking anything. I was just like zoned in on my target. She was like,
I don't know why you staring at me so hard for. It's not like you're gonna do anything. If you were gonna do anything, you would have been over here. I don't see you over here. What's the point in staring from over there? I'm right here. I'm right here.
Of course, at this point, the class go up in a riot because they're like, well, you're not moving either. Well, you're not moving either. Dude, like, she didn't even really need to move. Like, I really went over there and took off on her. And it was a magical fight. It was a beautiful one-on-one. And this was the time when I could actually fight. Like, I had it in me. I was an angry young woman. And I was just pop, 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 pop. Like, we were really going over chairs, but at the same time we were moving. Like, the fight was moving. Like, I was against the board. I remember a kid jumped from the back of the U, like the back of the classroom. Like, I remember he had to climb over chairs and he came and he broke the fight up because everybody wanted to see the fight. Like, everybody knew that me and Lynn, we were like friends on Monday, hated each other on Thursday. Like, we was always back and forth. So nobody wanted to break it up because it was a good fight. Like, we did not like each other. We was going in. And so I remember he had to come from the back of the classroom and break us up. And when I finally came back to my senses, because, like, we was fighting, but none of it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of it hurt because I wanted to hurt her. So I just remember coming back and being like, oh, like, I'm at school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming back to my senses. and he got me like this, and my shirt is up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got me like this, and my shirt is up, and my bra is exposed. And I'm looking at Lynn. Her hair is all messed up, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, my bra. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I distinctly remember that fight, because he stopped the fight, but why? Like, how did he end up showing my bra to the entire class? Like, why couldn't I have just walked away victorious? Because I didn't just beat Lynn up for me. I beat Lynn up. She was a bully. It just so happened that, like, I was close enough to stand up to her, and it would have been, like, a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody else stood up to her, they actually probably would have got beat up. Like, I don't know how that works. It just works like that when you're in school. Yeah, like, I don't even remember getting suspended. Like, 2 days later, the dean pulled us aside after school. Look, that's how you know, like, she really didn't care. Like, she pulled us aside after school 2 days later and was like, oh, I know y'all got in a fight, by the way. I suggest you guys stay away from each other if you don't want to get suspended. Like, I got away with it. I got away with it. And it's because it was a good fight. Like, everybody got tired of us. I'm pretty sure the staff and the students was just like, oh, these girls just need to fight it out. And we did, okay? We did. If you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up. Blue, support your girl. Get those fingers moving and tell me in the comments below about your first fight, if you remember it, or your best fight. And let me know what you want my next story time to be, because I'm like starting to remember shit. Like, that's the best thing about being consistent on YouTube. It's like, oh, what's my next video gonna be? Oh yeah, remember when that happened? Oh my God, yes. They're gonna die when I tell them this. So with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.